it will do the job.
This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It's an honor to have you here. World War III will be fought with miniguns, we know, and plenty of drones will be thrown in the mix. But rest assured, the nukes and the biologicals that will be used, they'll almost be global killers. With that in mind, though, World War IV, well, that'll be fought with spears. And so let's talk about how to make and how to use the best spear that you can. Now, even a Stone Age man realized that by putting some sharp object, spear-like object, on the end of a stick, when you're going to stab a prey animal to kill it, to eat it, or to defend yourself against a saber-toothed tiger, the further out you can get that spear away from where you are, that means you're that much safer. And even fighting another man keeps you safer by putting the deadly part way out there so that he has to get around it to get to you. Point blank is not how you really want to fight a battle with an animal or a man, and a spear prevents that from happening. A spear. But to throw a spear, you simply have to cock it like this, about a third of the way down from the shaft is the best, and you heave it. And you heave it. The stronger you are, the better you can throw a spear. That's the downside of many of us that are not as strong as, Bruce Lee or Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example. But that doesn't mean that's the only option. And there are simple things that you can do that will amplify your ability to defend yourself with a throwing spear. Let me get this nut here first. Now, this is just a homemade fishing spear. If you can see it, I don't know how well that'll show up on there, but just a nice little fishing spear that I made. Now, I didn't even use a battery. I just used a 30-06 case on this, electrical tape around it, and by a third of the way down, putting your finger there and throwing. Just the one finger does the thrust. That's all the thrust. The rest of the hand is just balance, and the finger does the rest. And by throwing with just that finger, you're going to have more power than if you threw with the whole hand, because it gives you that much more friction and power to thrust. And that's how it works. Another fishing spear I like, here's one of the more standard looking ones, commercial. You can buy them for just a few dollars. One of the things I like about it, and of course I have the battery wrapped up there a third of the way down, and it will fire a fishing spear a real good distance. And if you think fishing spears are just for fish, you'd be mistaken. That barb means whoever you hit, they're not going to pull that spear out. And with a spear sticking in them, they're going to do their best to keep that level, because with that spear tipped in them and going up, because this is prying down, it will be beyond painful and shock to their system. They're out of the fight. That's just all there is to it. They're out of the fight. You bet. A fishing spear. One other option. And again, this gives you a lot more speed and range. Of course, now I have a tri-blade too. And the battery, of course, a third of the way down or a fourth, wherever it feels comfortable. And it, thrown with that finger thrust, will put that spear out there fast enough that 20 to 30% faster means whatever you're throwing at can't get out of the way of it in time. Perhaps you ought to consider today the sport, just the sport of throwing a spear. Now, I'm going to have somebody say my state or my government will not permit me to have a spear. Okay. Then all you have to do is get you a heavy weighted bolt or something on the end of it, on an end of a stick, no spear point at all. It'll just be a stick. You can still use the battery and you can still practice until the day after event, and then you can very easily go to putting on a knife, even electrically taping a butcher knife on the end of it on the day after event, because laws will not exist except the law of survival. This is McCook's Mr. Bill saying, enjoy the sport of spear throwing. I have for many years. And spear chucking is an entertainment that may just save your life someday.
Mine's battery powered. I have a battery on it, if you can see, electrical tape to it. And with one finger, it will throw harder than if you throw it by the whole hand. And of course, it's a very efficient and very accurate tool. And if they take guns, I've always said, tools like this might be our only option. And it is efficient. It will do the job.